It's been a while since we've had some good movies open up all at the same time. We got 3 movies this weekend. 2 very good and 1 not so good.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
That's right. What's going on?
Well, first, the movie Hop. It's a live-action animated film starring a guy I really like, Russell Brand.
Now, why do you like this guy? Why is this guy so damn popular? He's remaking Arthur. I don't think he's that funny. Was he using Get Him to the Greek? Was he in that?
Yeah, he was in Get Him to the Greek. That's where I first liked him. And I don't know. I kind of like him. If anybody can pull off remaking Arthur, he can. I don't know if he will be able to do it. The previews look kind of funny to me for Arthur. But Russell Brand, I don't know. There's just something about him I like. He's a little offbeat. He does the voice of the Easter Bunny's son, E.B., who pals around with a man who hit him with his car. Here's a clip from the movie where E.B., Russell Brand, pleads with Fred.
Fred, mate, I'll behave. I'll clean up my mess. I'll do the dishes.
Not your problem. There's no dishes in the wild.
No, Fred, but I'm special.
Well, we're all special.
You're not getting it. I mean, I'm really special.
What are you doing?
See?
Jelly beans?
Mm-hmm.
So what? So you talk and you poop candy. Would you do it in someone else's life?
No, you're right. It's not your concern. And in 2 weeks, maybe you can explain to the children of the world why they didn't get their Easter baskets.
Easter.
Oh, yes, Fred. I am the Easter Bunny.
Hop in.
Oh, yeah.
James Marsden, by the way, who does the voice of Fred. That name seems familiar. He was the villain in the first Beverly Hills Cop movie.
Okay.
So, what do critics think about Hop? 7 out of 10. Give it to Bill O'Reilly.
I can't find my Bill O'Reilly, so I'm going to give it to Gene Wilder. How about that?
7 out of 10 critics give it to Gene Wilder.
There you go.
While it is impressively animated, they say the script is so uninspired, it's ridiculous. Now, also coming out, another movie that's been on my radar, coming out today, Source Code. Jake Gyllenhaal, he's a soldier that's involved in a government project, which is called Source Code, which allows him to take over another person's body to travel back in time. He uses this skill to investigate a train bombing in Chicago. Here's a clip from the movie where a woman named Christina is confused.
How well do you know me?
Hey, Grandpa.
Not that well, apparently.
Do you know me well enough that if I did something that looked a little strange and was maybe even a little bit dangerous, but I told you to trust me anyway, that you could do that?
No.
Wow, that was honest. You're beautiful, you're kind, and you're painfully honest.
Who are you? What did you do with Sean Fentress?
It's the new me.
8 out of 10 critics love it, actually. They find the human story among the action and charming, and they say that Gyllenhaal, he plays in a smart, satisfying sci-fi thriller. Without giving too much away, he can go back 8 minutes in time. So every time he goes back to this train bombing, he has 8 minutes to figure it out. Very intriguing, and the critics love it. Now, here's the movie that's been on the radar for a lot of people, including Dave and I and a lot of my friends. Insidious, where a family moves into a home and discovers it's haunted. Or is it their son who is haunted? This is from the people that made Saw and Paranormal Activity. More on that in a minute. But here's a clip from the movie where Josh and Renee get some upsetting news.
I'm not sure if you're ready to hear this yet, but unfortunately, I can't waste any time easing you into it. I want you to know this is what I believe, and it may contradict a previous medical diagnosis, but you called me here, and I'm taking that as an acceptance of my readings. Yes?
Go on.
Your son isn't in a coma. Falling off a ladder had nothing to do with this. His physical body is here, but his spiritual body is not. And the reason these disturbances, they followed you to a new home, is because it's not the house that's haunted. It's your son.
Now, to me, this seems like it's going to be a combination of Poltergeist and The Omen.
I agree with you. 85% of critics love this. 85% of critics around the world love this. They say the final act is a teeny bit shaky. That's the consensus. But the other consensus is this is very scary and very fun haunted house thrill ride. And I hear a lot of comparisons to when Poltergeist first came out. Also in this. The only thing that scares me off of this, Dave, is Paranormal Activity. I think if someone came up with a list of the most overrated haunted ghost movies, whatever you want to call it, scary movies of all time, Paranormal Activity would be right up there.
Now, you got to remember, you and I, who are heavy into paranormal research, looked at the movie differently. Because I have a friend, John, who gave me the other side of it, who's not into, shows like Ghost Hunters and doesn't go out ghost hunting. To him, it was scary as hell and amazing.
And you're right. You and I, we ghost hunt. We watch every ghost hunting show out there. And they actually, in Paranormal Activity, they did follow ghost hunting procedure pretty well.
Kind of, sort of, for Hollywood, I guess.
I just... All right, yeah, that's your friend John is not the first person that I've heard that from.
I'll give you one. Blair Witch.
Oh, boy.
Incredibly overrated and disappointing.
Yeah, but if you saw Blair Witch and didn't know it was fake, then it would be scary.
Well, they tried that whole setup, trying to get everybody to think it was real. Right. Making everybody drive into the city to see the opening. Weren't you one of them?
Yes. It was the early days of the internet. Not everybody had a computer.
Yeah,
and
you had to go to the library to research it.
Oh, he remember, ladies and gentlemen, Dave, remember the story I told
him?
Look at that, huh? Me and my friend Paul.
Yeah,
because this is how old it was. It was on Sci-Fi, a documentary about Blair Witch, but they played it straight.
You didn't look it up on microfiche, did you?
They played it straight in this documentary on Sci-Fi.
Yeah,
I taped it on VHS. My buddy Paul, who's a bartender, he was working that night. I put it in his mailbox. I said, play that VHS tape when you get home, dude. The proof of ghosts is finally here. We're going into the city this weekend to see Blair Witch. But because of our curiosity and nobody had a computer that we knew, or we didn't have a computer, we went to the library. No, we didn't go on microfiche. And we looked it up, and it was fake. And we still went to the city that next day. We got to the city 11:30 in the morning. Every single show through midnight was sold out of the Blair Witch.
That's an overhyped movie to me, because I left that movie. I remember seeing it at the old Brookhaven Multiplex on the Expressway. If you live here on the island, you know where that is. Going, what the hell just happened? Who was that guy standing in the corner? Was that the Blair Witch? What the hell happened to the girl with the runny nose? What is going on?
So, as good as the critics' reviews are of Insidious, I don't trust the Paranormal Activity folks, but I'm definitely going to see this movie.
But it's also the people that did Saw, and the first Saw was very good.
The first Saw, I would say, was borderline great, because it was, not any of the 17 Saws that came after it. So anyway, Dave and I are both going to have a review for you of Insidious on Monday morning.